everyone, I'm Becky.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we are just talking about the top 3 titles that we are most excited about for January 2020. Just to share the book love.
You know what? I'll do them in order.
You're going to do
put my life in order today.
You're putting your life in order.
Today I'm doing it in order.
That's how my brain works. It's it's the librarianness of me.
Mine's just
cataloged.
This is the order you get.
Yes. So, do you want to go first or should I?
I can go first because mine comes out on the 1st, so it's out already. The one that I picked is Run, Hide, Fight Back by April Henry. I go back and forth on hers, but and it sounds terrible, and whatever. I like shooting books, which sounds terrible. I don't even know how to phrase that right. I have a friend who loves serial killer books, and she doesn't want to be a serial killer, and she doesn't actually like serial killers, but she finds that subject matter fascinating.
Oh, it is fascinating.
So I find it fascinating, but in fiction, I don't want to watch the ambulance come through. You know what I mean? Not in that way. I don't know how to describe it, and it just sounds terrible, but whatever. I'm excited about this book.
Is it a school shooting book?
I don't remember, but it definitely is a book about a shooting because...
That's the shooting lessons.
Because that is what they tell it, the kind of
That
protocol.
being said, teens love books with that kind of stuff.
I know. I do too, and I feel weird saying it, but it's what it is. I like end of the world books, and I like shooting books.
So my first book is actually one that we reviewed. It's called Echoes Between Us by Katie McGarry. It comes out 1/14, but we did do a review of it early because we got ARCs. And Katie McGarry just writes the best characters. You feel you know these people, and she's I feel when you talk to her,
I want to support her.
I do. Well, she's so passionate about the characters she's trying to describe, because she does write about kids in the foster care system or kids whose lives have just come off their rails, and I feel she's so passionate about helping these kids that comes across in her writing. And this was a great paranormal romance with all sorts of family issues, and I'll link to our video, but it was great. Echoes Between Us by Katie McGarry. And even if we hadn't reviewed it, I literally get on the wait list for as soon as they get in the catalog. I'm oh, Katie McGarry must be reading it. And I've been doing this for since her first book came out, so 6 or 7 years ago. And they're worth your time.
So my next one is Devil Darling Spy by Killeen. Comes out January 21st. I talk about this in another video. But basically, when I saw that it was a sequel coming out, I screamed at the reference desk and was ah! Because I saw it, I don't even know where. And I got on the wait list already. So I cannot wait to read this book.
And it is?
Sequel to Orphan Monster Spy. Basically about a Sarah who is hunting a rogue Nazi doc in West Africa, and there's also a potential serial murderer on the loose.
So my next one is by Adam Silvera. It's Infinity Sun. It comes out January 14th. It's his first fantasy book, and it's one of those, I'm not completely clear, because I have a hard time with fantasy books until I actually read them, but it's one of those kind of in a dark dystopian future, and people have to band together to fight back against something. I don't care. It's an Adam Silvera book, and he wrote a fantasy book, and that's awesome. Well, and everybody keeps saying it's his first fantasy book, but is They Both Die at the End kind of fantasy?
Is that magical realism?
It's kind of almost
I feel there just needs to be discussions on what's considered what's part of the genre.
Because I feel because with that they had the app that told them when they were going to die, so that kind of feels that's science fiction, if nothing else. But I don't care. Adam Silvera has a new book, so I'm reading it.
Okay, and my last one is Don't Read the Comments by Eric Smith. That's coming out January 28th, and I just really kind of saw the cover and was okay, yeah, let's read it. So I don't really know much about the book, but I'm all about it.
So my last one is The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. It comes out January 21st. It's the last book in the Truly Devious series, which I loved. And it's going to basically tie everything up. We're going to find out about the murders. We're going to find about what happens, and I am so excited.
I love that you're saying it's going to tie everything up, like she knows.
It's gonna.
It may not.
I hope it does. I hope it does.
It may not.
I know. Well,
it's going to tie everything up.
And I read the first book, and I really enjoyed the first book, but then I listened to the second audiobook, and I really enjoyed the audiobook. So I'm I'm not going to read an arc or anything if I can find it. I haven't even looked. I'm going to listen to it. I'm on the wait list. I'm the first person on the wait list.
She turns things that aren't competitions into competitions.
I do. And so I'm super excited. And it's Maureen Johnson. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So those are the books that we're super excited about for January 2020. If there's something we missed that you think that we should be reading, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.